Shooting the shiznit, shooting the shiznit. Best little wrestling podcast in the business. Your host BT and all his guests. You'll never know who he'll have next. Shooting the shiznit, shooting the shiznit. Best little wrestling podcast in the business. Shooting the shiznit.
Oh yeah, we're live. 304 Studios in Jonesboro, Arkansas. This is an STSpod.club production. We're live with 5-minute time limit every first Tuesday of the month. This is episode 9 of 5-minute time limit and episode 953. That's right. You can listen to an episode every day for 3 freaking years of STSpod.club. That is, if you wanted to. And our first guest of the night, the one and only, been friends with this guy for a long time. Jamie Ward, how the hell are you?
We've been friends so long, that might have been pre-post office for me, and I just retired after 40 years.
All right, your 5 minutes is going to start, but let's talk. How long have I known you? 85, 86, 87, something like that?
I think it was 85, BT, the first time we ever conversed.
It could have been because I was doing a lot of tape trading at the time. Well, I started doing tape trading because we got that big, I think we got a VHS recorder from Finger Hut. Does anyone, Finger Hut,
oh, yeah,
as we say in the South? Finger Hut. Who's bought stuff from Finger Hut? We got a large studio audience tonight, so thank y'all for joining us. We'll be bringing y'all one by one up. Jamie, we always talk about your podcast, but go ahead. I don't know if I've asked this question before, but put over your podcast real quick as the timer is working there. By the way, the timer is sponsored by SpunkLube.com. That's right, SpunkLube.com.
I love something sponsored by Spunk Lube.
Oh,
good choice,
yeah,
Brian. Anyway, you can find me on 2 different podcasts I'm kind of a regular on, both on the Ray Russell's WrestleCopia podcast network, which even BT has been making some appearances.
I have.
You can find me just about every week on the Other Ship podcast, where we discuss mostly all the WWE big shows. We'll do a preview show, and then we'll do a review show. And if I'm not on, they're usually having talk about music, food, cartoons, television shows, movies. Michael Herrick, Drew Samuels, William Merriweather, and Chris Spiker. 4 men are well-versed in all different subjects and are nice enough to have me aboard, just to talk wrestling. You can also find me on Ray Russell's Regional Wrestling Podcast, where for the last 2 years, Ray and I discussed Georgia Championship Wrestling in 1981, and now we've graduated to Georgia Championship Wrestling in 1982. So far, we've had 2 podcasts come out covering just the month of January, and another one will be coming out shortly to talk about February, and maybe even an appearance by gorgeous Gino Hernandez.
Oh, wow. Tell me something then. So all these podcasts, a couple of questions I thought of when I called you to be back on it. Ray Russell, how did you meet Ray? Because he has a podcast empire.
I actually met Ray kind of through our old mutual friend, Tom Robinson.
Wow.
Tom was doing a podcast with him, TR Shocks the World. And that kind of, Tom got busy, couldn't, fulfill and keep doing the podcast.
Tom was Tom.
Tom being Tom, and I love Tom, but Tom is Tom. And Ray was looking, he put a thing out there asking anybody if they were well-versed in any particular territories. And I answered him, and next thing you know, we're starting Georgia 81.
Well, that's awesome, because Ray is friends with a lot of my friends. I have not had him on the podcast. I guess I need to have him and sit down with him. We talked about him, me and Gene did, and the network and everything.
You mean Mr. Know-It-All, Gene Jackson?
Yes, Mr. Know-It-All, the Know-It-All, Mr. Gene Jackson. My question, and I know this is kind of murky, but I wanted to ask you anyway. We've known each other for so long, but growing up, who was your favorite wrestlers?
Well, of course, all the WWF guys, such as Bob Backlund, Pat Patterson, Gorilla Monsoon, Ken Patera, everybody that was in the WWF, I followed tightly. And then in 1981, Georgia Champion or WTBS popped up on my television in July 1981, and I just fell in love with Georgia Championship Wrestling, and on we went. I mean, the Fabulous Freebirds, Tommy Rich, again, Ken Patera, the Masked Superstar, all those guys that were in Georgia in 1981 just took my love of wrestling to that next level.
We've talked about it on this show before, but technology changes the wrestling business, and not only changes the wrestling business, but changes our fandom. We were on the local channels. We were watching just the local stations, been able to see. And me, I'm always in the country. We lived out in what we called the country, where all we had was an antenna. But when cable television exploded, it exploded and changed wrestling forever. And especially guys like me, you, who had never seen anything else. I went to my friend Ron's house to watch Georgia Championship Wrestling, and also late night, I believe it was WOR, where I watched WWE.
Right, at midnight. And I'm out of here in 10 seconds, so just let me get in. It's been a pleasure talking to you again, BT. We got to do this again in a longer format sometime.
All right. Thanks, Jamie. I appreciate it, but I got to do this to you. Your time is up. All right. Let me get this timer started again real quick, because I want all of the seconds with you. Timer's going. By the way, the timer tonight is sponsored by spunklube.com. And no, that's not a joke. It is. They sponsor us. Introduce yourself.
I am Mr. Z, Miguel Z, but to everybody on YouTube, Value Wrestling, Mark Out or Get Out podcast, I'm Mr. Z, El Uno Supremo, based out of here of California.
Oh, I did not know that. In what part of California did you say?
Northern California, the Modesto area, but I go around California covering a lot of the independent out here.
Oh, wow. Cool. So here's our story. We met on a dating site. No, I'm just kidding. I put an ad out for just trying to look for new people to collaborate with. I guess that's the best word. And we changed the name of our Cool Kids Countdown for various reasons. And if you've been part of STSpod.club for as many years as it's been out, we did some changes right around WrestleMania. I needed somebody to help me, so he's going to be part of the countdown show, which we're going to do. One of our first countdown shows is going to be the top 10 performers of the upcoming G1, and you will also join me on some Observing the Observer, where we looked at the Observer, what they thought of the show, the fans of the Observer and Dave Meltzer, and tell what we thought of it. But when I'm going to tell my story if I got to time it up, but when did you start watching New Japan? And because every podcast I've listened to you've got everything lined up with New Japan, and I can't keep up with it. So,
well, right now, look, I started following New Japan right around the time Bullet Club formed. So that was Prince Devitt, the Machine Gun, and the Big LG. So that's by the time I started really following New Japan, because it was something different. Obviously, I followed everything out here under the sun growing up, going to the WWE shows, going to WCW when it was around. But New Japan was just something different. And that, it caught my attention because of the showmanship of what they do. So that's really about where I started loving it.
Well, I'm going to tell you, I traded tapes back in in the 1900s, sometimes in the 42, I guess. I had to wait. This is what is really so cool about it. And I just talked about wrestling changing because of technology. I had to wait about 6 weeks to get a new tape that was, by the time I got it, I was 10 weeks behind. So I got a tape with 4 shows on it. It took about 6 weeks to get it. So I was about 10 weeks behind, and I fell in love with New Japan and All Japan at the time, and got tapes over. Just had somebody send them to me. I sent them stuff from here. And then we found a guy found a shop in Chicago. One of my friends in Chicago, Tim Sorkin, rest in peace, brother. He found a shop, a Japanese shop that had, and I'm going to tell you, it looked like it was the highest quality ever of New Japan. And we couldn't believe it because I was getting what, third, second generation, maybe. And we got it weekly. Like Tim would get it and send it to me. So I thought I'm watching New Japan a week late or 2 weeks late. And now with New Japan World and you can watch the show as it's happening, which is crazy. And we have been, this is the 7th or 8th G1, maybe the 7th. So I've been watching the G1 again for the last 7 years and really watching the big shows or just looking at the matches I really want to see. I like your shirt, by the way. I'm a big fan.
Thank you.
But I can't keep. It's just one of those things I can't keep up with. But the upcoming show it's pretty exciting. I'm gonna watch the dog collar match. It is. They're calling it a dog chain or dog collar. I can't remember what they're calling.
Dog chain match. Yeah.
All right, a dog chain match. So I'm excited about that. And New Japan's had rough time in the last couple of years, and it'll be interesting to see what they do with Wrestle Kingdom. And you're going to be on board for that, and then be on board for helping me. Possibility of other shows too. You just never know. Hey man, your time. Well, I get to play that little soundbite because for some reason that just makes me smile. So here we go. Your time is up. Thanks, Mr. Z. I appreciate it. Who I got next on the list? Here we go. I even got a list tonight. Can you believe that? It is. Oh, he comes in with his kayfabe. Kayfabe, man.
Oh, it happens. Kayfabe back door, buddy.
Hold on. I'll get you 5 minutes going. By the way, again, sponsored by spunklube.com. The counter is, but we're also sponsored by Bear Meals in Jonesboro, Arkansas. And in Newport and Jonesboro, Vitality Chiropractor. Just want to put them over. I forget to do that. What's going on, Scotty?
Nothing much. Yesterday was my first day back from work after brain surgery, so that was fun.
Oh man! So how was the work? Did it? Were you ready to go home quick, or was it okay?
It was decent. My neck still hurts pretty much, so there's a lot of things I still can't do. So I'm trying to do the best I can while trying to, help run a welding department. Hasn't been very easy, but I'll get over it. I'm supposed to start 2 months of physical therapy, and then I have to go back and see my doctor in Little Rock again to make sure everything's okay. And then we get to talk about neck surgery. So there's that.
Yeah. I've had a little bit of not back surgery, but back problems. And my go-to was hydrocodone. And I think I might have took those pills way after my back started helping again. So, I mean, not hurting anymore. So I'm not saying I did, but allegedly I did keep taking it. That's what I heard anyway. So one time I had a fish bowl of hydrocodones, which I shared with a ton of workers. So yeah, that's a bad story, I guess. I should have shared that. Everybody's shaking their heads and good God, BT, what the hell are you talking about?
Oh my goodness.
So I'm going to go all the way back. I'm going to ask you exactly what I asked Jamie. I want to know, and we haven't had you on for a full show, but we are. But I want to know number one, what got you in the wrestling business? What made you a fan? And who was you a fan of when you were growing up?
2 words, Eddie Gilbert.
Oh, wow. Really?
That was it. I enjoyed just watching Eddie Gilbert do what he does, and then occasionally throwing a fireball at Jerry Lawler wasn't too bad either. So, that was that.
Go ahead.
Yeah, that was for around here. That was pretty much it. And then my grandpa was a major NWA WCW fan. So,
oh, wow.
I kind of like, I kind of like the bad guys. Yeah. Like Doom was my favorite tag team, even though they scared the crap out of me as a kid.
You know what? I keep thinking about Doom. There was a every time I see Doom, and I don't know why I think about this, there was I guess I want to say a fair, but it was more like a carnival.
Yeah.
Do you remember the bootleg Bart Simpson shirts that they would have?
Yes. Yes.
You know, it was like, I mean, it's the worst drawing ever, but it'd say Bart. Well, they had wrestling shirts with Bart on them. And I don't know. I think it was at Blyville. And it was Bart with Doom.
Oh my goodness.
And I don't know. I wish I would have got one of those and I would still have it. Hell, I might get Chat GBT to draw me one. But
There you go.
He was their manager and Bart was black. Bootleg Bart Simpson wrestling shirt and Bart was black with Doom.
That's the 90s for you.
Man, it was. I mean, there was some of the worst shirts ever. They were just horrible. But you know, they got away with it because it was in a carnival. Eddie Gilbert. So I've told this story many times on here. I saw him here in Jonesboro against Lawler. There was like 1,200 or more people in that little building.
Yeah.
There was a truck pull. There was a concert. There was all kinds of other stuff. Guess what? They drew like crazy because, as Eddie Marlin told me, and all old timers say it, if you give the wrestling fans what they want, hey, they're going to come out. And they did. Eddie interfered in almost every match. By the time it got to the main event, the crowd was so hot. And they were
ready to string him up.
Yep. Bled like crazy, Eddie did. But the funny thing was, it was right after he threw the big fireball on Lawler. And Lawler did not have any eyebrows.
Oh, my God.
Lawler told me that night, hey, he burned my eyebrows off. Now, I don't know to this day whether Lawler actually shaved them or he did burn them off. But it was one of those things where they may have been working me in the dressing room. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
But it's one of those things I will always remember. So, guess
Your
what?
time is up.
But I do appreciate you coming on. You can stick around if you want to. We're going to be doing Patreon. Our next person, one of my Patreon members, DRO. What's up, DRO?
What's up, brother? How are you doing tonight?
This is the first time you've been on 5 Minute Time Limit, but it's not the first time you've been on a podcast. You've been on podcasts before.
I think we talked about 2 times before.
Did we? Once or twice? I can't remember. So real quick, let me just ask you, and I'll probably ask you on that show also, but what got you into watching wrestling?
It was my dad. He was really into it. Now, I don't know if he was telling tall stories or what, but he said he was at the Coliseum the night that, Lawler got his head shaved. So he was already into it, when I was born. So kind of from the crib on, I was watching Memphis at least.
Gene just did. Gene Jackson does the podcast with Tommy Rich and Doug Gilbert, and they just did an episode just with Tommy Rich. He tells the whole story about him being under the cage, drinking beer, peeing in a bottle, or peeing in a can, the whole 9 yards. Very, very fun. Tommy Rich is really fun. He's open with Gene about almost anything.
I was listening to your interview with Gene the other day, and I need to start listening to that podcast. I just had the opportunity to meet Doug and Tommy a couple weeks ago.
It's one of those things where I said this to Gene, and it's not me being mean or anything, but me and Doug had a disagreement back in the day, and I never thought, hey, I would enjoy listening to Doug Gilbert, but he has done so much stuff, and then after me going back and watching Doug Gilbert wrestle, guess what? I was wrong. He's a damn good wrestler, knows what he's doing, perfect psychology, could probably do a whole match and not do nothing. Which is a skill, it really is. But I was wrong about that. Always been a Tommy Rich fan ever since he was in Georgia. He won the title. I was a huge Tommy Rich babyface fan. And then when he turned heel, I could not believe it. There's a famous magazine, and I know this is way before your time, but it says Tell the fans they can go to hell or something like that. It's an aftermag, and it's got Tommy on the front, and it pissed me off when it happened. So your fandom right now is just you've just closed in and said, look, I can't keep up with WWE. I can't keep up with AEW, but I'm just going to stick in there when people don't spoil everything for you. With Memphis Wrestling, why just Memphis Wrestling? Is it because it's local?
Well, the local is a big aspect of it, but like I said, I don't have a whole lot of time. But there's way too much wrestling on, and it's either all or nothing for me. It seems like when I was a big fan of WWE, I watched everything. Raw, SmackDown, main event, just anything that they had on. So it's like I'd rather watch nothing than watch just a little bit when I can.
Did you watch? You said you were watching Saturday night's main event.
Yeah, I was checking. I might start getting back into the PLE part, but I can't keep up with the weekly TV.
I cheat on the weekly TV. I watch the highlights, and then if there's something that I really, really want to see, then I go out of my way to watch the match. Because there's some guys. I love the roster right now, and I like what they do. A lot of storylines going on. I can't follow AEW anymore, even though I was a hardcore fan with AEW because of a lot of stuff they've done. I'm one of those fans that left AEW, even though I was there for the first show in Chicago, the whole 9 yards, and felt like there was something changing in the wrestling business. Now I don't know if it's going to change or not. It's just really weird for me. You're not with AEW. You watched AEW for a while, right?
I did. No, I was at their first. Well, they called it Memphis, but it was in Mississippi. Yeah, right. I was at that show.
Yeah, they did. Was it the tribute show where they brought out some of the older guys?
Yeah, the Memphis Wrestling tribute.
Yeah. So that's what they had done. With so we all know what happened on Memphis Wrestling on Saturday. We only got a few seconds here to talk about it. What's your thoughts on Simon as the champ over the Gun Show?
Oh, I don't know. I'm conflicted about it. I think Simon definitely deserves that spot, but I don't know that it was built up enough for him to just come in and take the title right away.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying, but I think with the build-up, I don't think they could have did anything else. In my mind, if Simon showed up and he got beat, it would look stupid with all those videos he was doing. All right, dude, I just love doing this, so I'm going to go ahead and do it. So here we go. Thanks, DRO. I appreciate it.
All right, thanks.
Time is up.
All right, stick around if you want to be on Patreon, and it is time for our commercial break.
Don't miss Memphis Wrestling Live. Next Sunday, June 8th, former WWE Women's Champion, The Phenom Jazz, is coming to Memphis Wrestling. Saturday, June 21st, meet Vicky Guerrero live at the Tupelo Furniture Market in Tupelo, Mississippi. Sunday, June 29th, James Ellsworth returns to Memphis Wrestling. Saturday, July 12th, Memphis Wrestling returns to Little Rock with former WWE United States Champion Kalisto. July 17th and 18th, Memphis Wrestling Kids Camp returns. Registration is now open. Sunday, July 20th, Gilbert is coming to Memphis Wrestling. Plus, don't miss WWE Hall of Famer Rikishi in August, benefiting St. Jude. All tickets are on sale now. Get yours right now at memphiswrestling.tv.
Don't miss MCW live every Friday night right there in Osceola, Arkansas. Also upcoming this Saturday night, June the 7th, Charles Strong Recreational Center in Luxor, Arkansas. It's all wrestling for the Warriors. A salute to the bravery of the firefighters in Luxor, Arkansas. Join MCW for a benefit to help raise money. That's Saturday, this coming Saturday, June the 7th. Also the following Friday night, back at the MCW Arena in Osceola, Arkansas, where the legacy continues. And then Saturday night, June the 14th, MCW presents Breaking Point. One night, no turning back. Mark Tree, Arkansas. Doors open at 5 p.m. Bell time at 6 p.m. Bodies will break. Alliances will crumble. Titles will hang in the balance. Be there as your favorite MCW superstar. Step into the fire with no way out. Guarded subject to change, and you'll see these superstars: Draco, Mike Anthony, Action Jackson, Sean Hooteridge, Chase McCoy, CJ Money, Serpent 187, C Money, Prodigy, Party Factor, Galen Ray, the LA Hustlers, and many, many more. Here's what I want you to do. If you have any questions, I want you to search Facebook for Osceola's Mid-Southern Championship Wrestling. All ticket information, how to get your ticket, what time the show starts, everything right there on Facebook. All tickets are on sale right now. Be there! All right. Well, hello there, Duchess.
Hello, how are you?
Move that camera a little bit.
No, I'm good.
Whoa, now we're live. We're
Sitting
live.
in
We're
the
live.
car.
Let me get you
You
5 minutes
behave,
started.
sir.
I'll try my best. The Duchess, how are you tonight? You're in your car. You see, you continued your streak. You was in your car. You and I've got somebody in the studio audience waiting to come on. Stacy, you and Stacy and me, we hold the record for being on 9 shows, all 9 of them. How
All
are
9.
you? Oh, 9. See, you gotta get that Jersey accent. So how do y'all say 9?
Oh, 9.
9.
I need a couple beers or something before the Jersey starts coming out. Then I get feisty. So that'd be a whole nother podcast.
If this is the first time you joined us, Duchess, shame on you if this is the first time you joined us, but the Duchess comes on every time. She was a fan in the 90s, 80s, 90s with Piper and
back
WWE.
in the 1900s.
Yeah, 1900s. And she quit watching wrestling. And what I do is on Monday or Tuesday mornings, right before the show, I will send you homework. And I will say, and it's all about what happened on Monday Night Raw. And you have been following it for 9, just watching what I send you, and you may watch other stuff, but then we talk about it. So I sent you the clip that was about 11 minutes. It was just all highlights of Monday Night Raw last night. So what stood out to you?
Well, I forgot his name. I forgot his name, so shame on me. The guy with the luchador sort of mask. The America, I don't know what his name is.
Yeah.
Him, it made me laugh because the mask was funny. But I feel like I'm becoming a Seth Rollins fan, and I'm not sure why. But I'm kind of liking
shaking
him.
her head. Yep.
I'm sorry. I know. I'm sorry. I don't have the whole who I'm supposed to, but I don't know. That one kind of catches me for some reason. I'm not sure why. But,
well, he's a handsome man, and
I think I know why.
He actually does everything he's supposed to do. This run right now is this year's been real good to Seth, but this run with the top heel group, they're the top bad guys in WWE on the Raw brand, and if you're with Paul Heyman, then they're gonna put a rocket to your ass. He don't need a rocket. The other two might because they're young. But a hell of a group. I mean, and what they did at the end with CM Punk and everything, it was hot at the end. It seems like they use him at the end of Raw every week now to get the crowd going. What else? Was there anything? One of my favorite, and I'm not going to be able to pronounce her name. I always screw it up, is Stephanie. Let's see. Valkyrie. Look, Mr. Z could have did that for me. I'm sorry. I can never pronounce
Valkyrie?
it. Valkyrie. Is that it? I don't know. That's not it. He's shaking his head.
Okay.
Stephanie, she came out. She's wearing all black. She won. One of my favorite girls in the business right now. They brought a bunch of people from NXT. They're bringing them to Raw, kind of like their AAA baseball.
It's impressive to watch the girls. I have to say, I mean, clearly I understand why the ladies are in it, but they are in amazing condition. It's fun to watch them fight. So it's
Yeah,
impressive.
there
I
was.
watched that and I'm like, there's some goals, but
Yeah,
the
they're all
long
in
hair gets
fantastic
me.
shape. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
they sure
The
are.
thing about it is, it's a whole lot different than it was when I was growing up with the girls.
Mhm.
They would the girls were kind of an attraction, especially on local shows.
Mhm.
They would put them in the main event a lot of times, but they also put the midgets in the main event too. So, but there was just so many girls that traveled to different territories to wrestle.
Right.
Now they have their own. And I said something about someone the other night, and it wasn't a bad thing, but it sounded bad. I said she wrestles like a guy. And I think a lot of the
I
girls
get that.
do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that a lot of girls actually wrestle are a lot better now than they used to be. Just put it that way.
Yeah, it's impressive. I mean, clearly it's a very physical act, and just to watch them do that, and not for nothing, with the hair, it's always getting caught up in stuff. Sorry, but still, to wrestle with all that hair is cool. But no, it was enjoyable to watch. I enjoyed watching the recap, so it was. I watched so many of them. Who was the big fella in the bathing suit? Looked like a bathing suit at the end with Rollins, who was jumping off the top buckle.
Bronson Reed.
He's a big boy.
Baby,
He's
a
a
bathing
big
suit.
boy.
I'm done.
Your
He looks
time
like a lady's bathing
is
suit.
up.
All right, I'm gonna bring Stacy on. I'm not gonna start your timer yet, Stacy. I'm not gonna
Okay.
start your timer. You are the last guest on the regular show. You're the last guest, but I have a video that was sent in, and you always seem to get to listen to the calls and you get to watch the videos of the people that send stuff in. So we had my Aunt Cheryl, that's what we call her, Aunt Cheryl. She sent in a video, and I just thought you might want to watch it with me.
I would love to watch it with you.
Didn't go a whole 5 minutes, which is okay, but here we go.
Hey, baby. It's your Aunt Cheryl on your mom's side of the family. We're blood kin. We've known each other our whole lives. I loved you from the beginning. I got a fax on my fax machine that you had a 5-minute time limit, hootenanny, for all to hear. And so I wanted to get on here. And so here I am. I'm just happy to be here. I wanted to take my 5 minutes to talk to you about our sweet friend Stacy and her new roommate John Cena. I went to their house and he's been baking bread. He is a sourdough connoisseur if I've ever seen one. He's been real helpful. Her garden looks nice. I believe he planted some garlic and carrots. I would have never thought. So there's that. It's just, but I'm just real proud of you, of how far you've come since Wrestling Ride Online, and I don't think any of the viewers know this, but I was part of that support team. I didn't receive any compensation. I think that needs to be looked at again, because look at where you are now. Anyways, I'm proud of your 5 minutes and the time limits. But I have to go. I've got a crock pot full of pot roast. And it's getting pretty late in the evening. So anyways, good luck on your stuff. It's your Aunt Cheryl. I sure do love you. Okay, bye. And goodbye. I sure do love you. Bye.
All right, we're back. That was Aunt Cheryl. Thanks, Aunt Cheryl. I appreciate it. I know you were a big supporter back in the day. Oh, all right, Stacy, your 5 minutes has started. And I got one question for you to start out. Are you and John Cena still together? Is he still there?
He is. And the thing is, I have got a full-on brawl going on in my living room. My cats are going at it. So
all right.
Yeah, it's something. But yeah, I mean, things are going great. He went out to work out at the gym. He's got to stay toned and stuff. But do you hear that?
What is it?
It's my cats. They're.
Yeah, I heard it. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I just John was going to make another appearance. By the way, I want to tell you something that's going to make you jealous. John Cena follows me on X. The real John Cena.
The real John Cena.
Yeah.
The real one.
Yes, for real. He actually followed a bunch of people from Memphis Wrestling. You know, he knows Derek King and a couple of the other guys from Memphis. And he took all the roster of Memphis Wrestling who was involved in Memphis Wrestling and decided to follow everybody. I guess this is about a year and a half ago.
Nice.
So I can communicate with him if I wanted to, but I don't really know what to say to him. So.
Well, I mean, you can also communicate with him through me. So there's.
Yeah, I know. I could come over there. I thought he was gonna make another appearance. So.
Not tonight.
Oh,
not
okay.
Tonight.
Damn it.
Yeah. Yeah. Truth is cats won't leave him alone. I had to put him I had to fold him up.
I'm looking in the studio audience, and Mr. Z has this look on his face. He says, "What the F did I get myself into?" This guy is crazy. He's texting his wife right now. This guy's crazy.
He already signed the contract. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, there we go. You already signed the contract. You're already part of it. Yeah, we have I tell everyone this, but me and Stacy are like a long-lost Southern cousins. I'm not going to say brother and sister. We're like cousins. And I met her through wrestling, and we both, if you read our text messages, one of these days I'll make them available. If you read them, you would think we were completely insane. Mm-hmm. So
it should be in book format.
Yeah, she sent this long text message about everything she was doing. And this is the third time or fourth time sourdough has been mentioned on a wrestling podcast. That must be the first time ever. You had this whole thing about what you was doing with the sourdough and what you had. And I said, man, I'm gassy. And you said, yeah, Taco Bell does that to me too. And I'm like, oh, man.
Oh, Taco Bell gives me heartburn thinking about it.
So it went totally different. It always does. And we've had some crazy, crazy stories. So tell me, we had the Duchess talking about Raw. She's talking about Seth Rollins kind of being one of her favorites now. He is one of your favorites. You got back into watching WWE when they went to Netflix, right?
Yeah. It was all this hype. It was going to be a big deal. And I checked it out, and man, it was It was amazing. It was
Yeet.
great. Yeet. Yeet.
Did you see Sammy dancing last night?
Precious. It's precious. Yeah. But good show. Yeah.
Was it? What is your thought on the girls that wrestled? Are you
I
a
hate,
fan of them?
I hate women's wrestling. I hate it. Oh, I hate it so
I knew
bad.
you did.
Oh, it's so bad.
My mama don't
There's-
like them either. She hates Becky Lynch. My mama watches Raw, and she hates Becky Lynch. She's like, I can't stand her. I can't stand her.
I'm not a fan of her. I do like Liv, and I do like Rhea Ripley. But I mean, Liv Morgan, she's a workhorse. Like, she puts her whole body into it. She destroys herself for this business, and I give her props for that. But
I love the stuff that's going on with Judgment Day now. I always have liked it, but it's just like a soap opera.
I need Dominic to leave her, and then it'll be perfect.
Yep. All right,
Your
Stacey.
time is up.
All right, guys, you know what I'm fixing to say. Same bad time, same bad channel on the best little wrestling podcast in the business. Be there. And as everyone knows, Mr. Z, you're fixing to find out something. This is the first time everybody in this room knows this, but you're going to know it right now. I love my mama. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. We're coming off the main feed. All I can tell you to do is